Well, I have a few passions: cooking, coaching rugby, and coffee. So in this episode, I'm going to show you how to make the perfect espresso without having to buy one of those $800 machines. So stay tuned, I'm going to show you how. Hey, so as you heard in the intro, today I'm going to show you how to make espresso, cappuccino on the cheap. Really on the cheap, okay? You don't need an $800, $1,000 espresso machine to make good quality espresso. You could use something as simple as a mocha pot here, which just about 99.9% of Italians in Italy have in their homes. They still go out to the cafe to get their really good espresso, but a lot of them are just making it right out of the mocha pot here. The only problem with that is that you don't get a really good deep crema with it. This is a kind of a scaled down version of a mocha pot, and it'll pull 2 shots really nicely. Again, you don't get a really good, deep, dark, creamy crema utilizing that. So what do you use? Well, like I said, you could use those. Nothing wrong with them. Or you could go into something like this, which is actually very reasonable. This is totally 100% manual espresso maker, and I just added this to my little corral of coffee gadgets, and the quality out of this machine right here, okay, is actually some of the best shots that I've pulled ever, even utilizing my old commercial Watch and Bali. I'm going to show you how to do it today. Now, a couple other things. Now you're thinking, well, how am I going to make the foam for my cappuccino? You don't have to go out and buy a foamer. Or a French press. If you have a French press, by all means, you can use a French press. I'm going to show you how. You can get a foamer. Walmart sells them for about $14. You can get a foamer that heats up, and you have the little plunger on it, and you could do it that way. Or as I said, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to use a French press. Don't know how many of you have one out there, but you can get those for cheap as well. So when you're setting out to make the perfect espresso, there are three important factors to consider. And they are: bean. You have to make sure you have a great espresso bean or blend of beans. Find yourself a local roaster if you have one. We just happen to have one here close by, only 5 miles down the road. In fact, they're using my old roasting machine, and so they make a really good espresso roast down there, and they roast it in small batches. So if you find a roaster that roasts in small batches, the chances are you can tweak your roast. If you work with a roaster, keep in mind that you're going to probably have to buy at least 3 pounds of beans, because they're going to do about 5-pound roast. But they'll work with you, or hopefully they'll work with you. I know I used to work with people. So beans is one of them. And the next is you have to make sure that the temperature of your water is hot. It's going to be at least 195 degrees. Anything lower than that, you're going to under extract your beans or your espresso. The third most important factor is grinder. This, I think, I don't know, they're all equal. Maybe water a little less, but a grinder. You got to have a good grinder. You need to use a burr grinder. Don't even think about using one of those spice mills or coffee mills or what have you. They don't work. They don't provide an even cut or even grind on the bean. You want an even cut. You also want to make sure that you get the perfect grind for your espresso. Espresso is a fine grind, and the reason it's a fine grind because you want to make sure that you're getting the most out of that bean. If it's too coarse, you're not going to get all the good attributes out of the bean. So thus, it's finer. Also, it also helps create the crema. So I have a commercial grinder here. It's a Rincilio Rocky. This is on the kind of like the introductory level. This runs for about $450 right now. So that's not a bad price for a grinder like this. This is a commercial grinder. If that is too steep for you, then you have another option, which is a hand grinder. These are great. They work wonderfully, and you can get in on a good hand grinder at about starting about $50. They have some less than that, but you know, you get what you pay for. There are some out there in the $60 to $70 price range that work great. This one here, this is kind of like a mid-level. This is about $160, and I've been getting great results out of my hand grinder here. So grinders, water, and beans. So those are the three most important factors if you want to create the perfect espresso. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to use my hand grinder today, and we'll go on from there. So give me a second, I'll get things set up, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and let's get started grinding some coffee here. This is my hand grinder. This is a Flair, and the bottom receiving cup just kind of snaps off by hand, and I'm going to weigh my coffee beans. I want to get about anywhere between 14 to 16 grams. I'm usually right about 15. I think 15 works well for me. So I have my receiving cup zeroed out. So I'm going to go ahead and pour about 15 grams of coffee beans into my cup. All right, 15.8. So we're almost at 16. So a couple more beans. So there we go, 16 grams. I just take the top off of my grinder. Pour my beans into the top. Snap the bottom on. And this will take me about 20 seconds. Get them all ground out. Get my top back on. There we go. So, in about 20 seconds, which isn't a lot. The old hand grinders, oh my God, they would take forever. They have really, really outdone themselves on these new grinders. I mean, the amount of time it takes to grind now, nothing compared to what it used to be. But anyways, 20 seconds. I'm having so much fun. I'm getting a workout. And you know when your coffee is totally ground when the handle freely spins. There you go. I didn't even time that. I think it was right about 20 seconds. There you go. Give it a little tap. Remove the bottom cup. Now the next thing that I like to do, I like to break up the clumps. They call it declumping. So I go in here with my little whisk and just break that up. All right, let me get my espresso machine set up over here, and we'll get to pulling a shot. We'll be right back. Well, I have my group head heating up right now. I did preheat my portafilter. Now it's time to go ahead and get the coffee in. So I have my ground down espresso. Just go ahead and pop it into my portafilter, making sure I get it all out there, which I did. Now I'm going to go ahead and tamp this down a little bit. Then I'm going to go ahead and take my tamp, a little bit of pressure on there. A couple more tamps there. There we go, we're almost ready here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and pour off my hot water that I was using to heat my group head. And then we'll go ahead and get our pressure gauge set up so we can go ahead and pull a shot. Okay, so on goes our group head. Slide it right down over the portafilter. Get this set up. Get that knob out of the way. Go ahead and put the top of my pressure gauge, my receiving end of the pressure gauge, placed on top. Now I'm going to go in with hot water. Now I boiled this, so it's just below the boil. And we'll get that in. Pour it up to the very bottom of the receiver. There we go. Go ahead and take our pressure gauge, slide that in. So there we go. Now I had my cup warming up as well. So we'll get that in place. Now I'm going to do what we call a pre-immersion. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started. I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on here. Once we get it going, I will bring it up to about 9 bars of pressure and hold it. And so what we're going to do with the pre-immersion, we're just going to get those grounds a little bit damp. And once I start seeing a few drips of coffee down here, I'm going to let them kind of soak for about 5 seconds. Alright, so I got a few drips going here. So I'm going to let this hold here at this pressure for about 5 seconds. Alright, 5 seconds is over. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring up my pressure to 9 bars. And I'm going to hold it. This should take about 30 seconds to get a pour out of here. It's looking great so far. And it's smelling great. Holding right at 9 bars. Probably could have set a timer, huh? Now we're coming down towards the end of the extraction. Pressure is dropping. And there we go. We have a beautiful shot of espresso with a nice, full, dark, creamy crema. Take a look at that. We got a good ½ inch of crema on there. That's looking good. The aromas, crazy. All right, well, hey, here you go. The perfect shot of espresso. Nice spiciness to it. It's not bitter. It's strong. It's not bitter. And it's not too citrusy either. It's really important if you're getting espresso beans roasted by your roaster, make sure if they're citrusy, let them know. That's under roasting. They need to take it another step. So this is so good. Hey, well, next thing I'm going to do is show you actually how to go ahead and take this and make cappuccino by using a French press to froth the milk. So stay tuned, don't go away. Okay, frothing. I have some milk here. I'm just going to throw it in the microwave for about 30 seconds. We'll get it heated up, then we'll go ahead and put it into our French press here. We're just going to plunge it and we'll get some froth. We'll be right back. Okay, I have my hot milk here. Just going to go ahead and pour it into my French press. Put my plunger on. And I'm just going to go ahead and plunge it. I have my little frothing pitcher over here. And I'm going to go ahead and give this a stir. And I have such a wonderful microfoam on this going on right now. It's as easy as that. Heat up the milk, get it into your French press, and you've got froth for cappuccino. Now, that'll be good for about 30 seconds while I go ahead and pull them out of the shop. Now it's time to go ahead and make our cappuccino. Go ahead and stir this up one more time. I'm going to go ahead and pour my frothy milk onto the side. There used to be a time where I could actually make some designs in this, but my hands are just shot. Old man hands. There we go. Not the best pour in the world. I should have practiced a little bit before I shot the video, but that was a cappuccino. And that was a cappuccino made with a nice microphone, a beautiful espresso, on a machine that didn't cost me $800. Hey, one last thing to do now, and you know what that is. Let's go in for a try here. A taste. No sugar either. Do I have some on my nose? Wow, that's perfect. The crema from the espresso, the microfoam from the heated milk, that makes for a nice cappuccino. Wow, I'm back in Naples. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and most importantly, share. And right over here, bang, hit my logo. It makes it so much easier to subscribe. So until next time, thanks. We'll see you, maybe over a cappuccino.